Good morning. What's today? Wednesday. Come on in. Good morning to you. Come on in. Grab a chair. Couple of people already here. Yeah, nice to have your company. We are enjoying doing these wreaths, aren't we? Yeah, I really am enjoying these. And it's okay to slow it down a little bit, you know, and just go with the flow, eh? Yes. And so today we're doing wreaths on watercolour paper. So come on in. Nice to have your company. Good morning. Hello Hilda. Hello Sue, Sheila, Jeanette. Nice to have your company. Grab a chair. Shut the door. There's a draft. It's really cold today in the south, in the southeast. What about where you are? Where are you? Same place you were yesterday, I know. Ah, you rock. Yeah, you do. You do. It's quite an achievement, you know. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What a great place to hang out. I was thinking about you this morning. And I thought, crikey, you know, because I've got to write the newsletter for the club, the December newsletter. And so I was thinking about our club members, many of them are you know, and what this year's been like. And and I was thinking about you, and I was thinking what a great distraction this SHAC has been for all of us. You know, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, so is it working? Is the volume okay? Stuart, our friend Stuart's in the building with us today. Sound is good. Good. I had to put a little jacket on because it was a bit fresh. It was a bit fresh. And we started the elf hunt yesterday, and because of course it's just we're just rolling in from one thing to another, just to keep you company really and keep the business going. And so we finished the Grey Friday sale, didn't we, on Monday midnight, and then yesterday, December the 1st, we started our elf hunt on the website. And yeah, I know, the first one was a bit of a monkey, sorry about that. I wrote these little verses. For those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about, there's an elf hunt, and every day at 11 o'clock, so after the SHAC, we will post the next clue. We'll either send you an email if you get our newsletter. It might be a good idea to sign up to the newsletter, and then you don't have to trawl Facebook to find the clues. Stuart will help you do that, won't you, Stuart? If you need a link to sign up for the newsletter, Stuart will help you there. We don't hound you, we don't stalk you, we don't sell your email to somebody else. We just send you an elf clue or important information about, I don't know, about TV. Like tomorrow, Paul's on television doing the Pergamano show. He's launching a pair of beautiful, it's a kit, you know, like the tree kit, the Christmas tree kit that blew the doors off last month. Well, this is the last Pergamano show of the year, and Linda has prepared another wonderful feast for us, which Paul is presenting. And this time it's with a stocking and the little beautiful little Swarovski crystals. Well, Swarovski looky-likey crystals. Yeah, really beautiful. And this time it's a stocking. So you see, and that's why we would send you emails to just keep you updated of what we're doing. So ask Stuart if you want to join. And then at 11 o'clock, we'll send you the second clue for the elf hunt. And the reason you want to be doing this is because you've got until the 24th, every day till the 24th. It's like an advent calendar, really, isn't it? And so right up until the 24th, and then you gather all your little answers, your clues together, where the elves were. These are the two, Effie and Offie, the Evie and Stevie, or what we called them, Evie and Elfie. Yeah, so they're hidden somewhere in the website, and you gather all your answers up, and then if you get their answers right, then we'll put you in a draw, and you'll get a £200 prize. You'll be for a £200 prize, which is pretty cool. 200 quid, what's not to have? 200 quid hamper, I'd say so. A clarity hamper for a crafter sounds a pretty good deal to me. So, and all you got to do is just, there's no catch or anything. It's just fun. It's just a bit of harmless fun. You just have to, and if you've been on the sale all weekend, you'll be familiar with the products anyway. So this is just our way of keeping you distracted. That's what it is. It's quite enjoyable. It's quite fun. So yeah, the elf hunt, 11 o'clock. And what's the time now? Time to start doodling. Welcome to the SHAC. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. And today we're doing watercolour wreath. So let's have a look, shall we, what we're up to. Now, where were we last time? Oh yeah, this was nice. This is what we did. This is what we did on Monday, which came out really nice, didn't it? We like that on the buff. I like that. So so this was really cool, I think. I think a lot of you will find a lot of uses for that, won't you? It was using this, remember? Stuart will give you the download link if you need it. It's free. And then what we're going to do today, right, I need this one. This is the one I need for today. This was, do you remember when we did the twiggy one? Look, let's have a look here. So what we're going to do now, because we transferred the twigs, didn't we, to that Sunday on the telly. I'm on the telly on Sunday. Do you remember we transferred the twigs to the watercolour, the twigs, and then we put the holly on, and then we did. That was a little lesson last week in transferring, and then what we did was we figured out how to make the leaves really big on the twig. So it's the same twig that we used for this one, but look, it looks completely different. So that's pretty cool. And today we're going to do this. So the idea is that we take our tracing paper, our design. Have you still got that? And then what we're going to do is turn it over and transfer it to our watercolour paper. And I think it takes a couple of minutes to do this. It doesn't take long to transfer. So I think we'll do that, and then we'll add colour. Just so it's a little recap. I think it's all right to do it, don't you? And if you've already done it, well, good for you. Then you can just drink your tea and let me catch up with you for 5 minutes. But I know that a lot of us haven't done this yet. And so now's a good time. And we're going to need a watercolour. Well, if you haven't got watercolour, use card. You know, really, don't worry. If you haven't got stuff, that doesn't exclude you then. It just means you have to make do amend, figure out what you can do. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Right, so, but if you have got all the gear, we're going to be using, just so that if you have got the stuff, then you could be going around and getting all your bits and pieces while we're working. So let me just give you a little heads up here. What we're going to do is take our original. We may have to, you may have to thicken it up like with an HB pencil on the front, so that when you transfer it, there's actually something to transfer. I may have to actually do that because you probably won't see much of what I'm doing to begin with, because it's quite I want quite a fine line. I don't want it too black, you see. So, and then when we've done that, so we've got watercolour, we've got an HB pencil, and then we've got you've got your water brushes, because I know loads of you bought these in the sale, or well, you bought these in the weeks gone by. If you've got water brushes, if you haven't got water brushes, any old brush, a paintbrush. Let's have a look. A paintbrush. There you go. Look, this is brilliant actually. It says number 6 sable hair. It says it's a good one. It's the only one you need really. Clarity stamp. And this one is great because when it gets wet, she said licking it, which you shouldn't do, but I'm going to show you. It goes to a real point, you see. So you can do big washes with it because it's a number 6, it's quite big, but it's quite sturdy. So that means that when you go to do finer lines, that works. These have got instant water in them, but there you go. It's options, isn't it? So if you haven't got them, got a paintbrush, and then we're going to use, and this is where I've got these all ready for Sunday's TV show, because I'm going to be doing similar stuff to this at the 2 to 4 on Hojanda. But you need you need a couple of the A pencils from the pergolines. You need watercolour pencils. If you haven't got watercolour pencils, then ink pads will do too. I've been sort of showing you demos with this kind of stuff on Hochanda. You could use ink pads too. What's important is that you've got some kind, we've got a mix mat, right? And we've got a water one and an oil one. What you need is, like, sometimes you can get like a plastic folder or something that's got a bit of purchase. You can hear it, listen. It's not smooth. That side's smooth. This side's got a bit of purchase. And it's all so that in a minute, when instead of using the watercolour pencil straight onto the watercolour paper, which doesn't give you a good result, what we're going to do is scribble some of the pigment from the watercolour pencil onto this gritty mix mat and then add some water. Boom, instant watercolour. So that's what we're going to do. You could be gathering up your bits and pieces, or you could already be ready to go, have it all there, and you can just sit and relax and chill for 5 minutes while we transfer this onto our watercolour pad. Right, you ready? Let's get this done, because this is going to look beautiful. This isn't finished yet. This isn't finished yet. We're going to finish this on Friday. We're going to finish this on Friday. It looks a bit dirty, but that's okay. I like this. This is going to be really nice. Arty. Now you'll notice that there are leaves on here that aren't on our wreath, and we're going to add them. That's another thing that we can do, you see. Can you hear me all right? Is everybody happy? So let's have a look. This is the side. Let's have a look. Where am I going here? If I press this one down with an HB, let me just see if I get any kind of... No, see, I knew that, because I've already done it once. So what I'm going to do is take my HB pencil, I'll make a little mark again. We did this when we did the holly wreath, do you remember? And what I want to do, this all right, hanging out with my friends, what we're going to do is reapply, because this is what you need to do now. We're going to reapply a little bit of lead or graphite. Here we go. I'm going to make a little mark there so I know where I've been and where I haven't been. And I'm just going to go to where the holly leaves are. That's all. I don't even need the vein down the middle. You can do it if you want. It's up to you. It's no rush. So all we're going to do is apply the a little bit of lead, so we got something to transfer. See, let me just show you. If I take this one now that I've just done and I turn it over, then when I come in on this side, hopefully I can see, yes, let's come in a bit closer. Hang on. The other way. There, you see. So, and we don't want it too thick or dark, because otherwise, no, we want to add that right at the end. So let's do this, shall we? We all right with this? Right, hang on a minute. Regroup. Smile. Come on. Got lots to smile about. If you're here with a cup of tea watching me, or you're doodling along with me, then we've got a lot to smile about in the bigger picture, you know? And so today we're going to transfer this wreath, we're going to hang out for an hour, and we're going to have a little banter. All right, come on. So let's get this right. I'm just using something to lean on so that I don't smear my work. Let me make sure I'm on the right side. Yeah, that's it. So we're just going to go around here, and I'm just concentrating on the holly leaves. Don't worry about all the other bits, because that's where we're going to put our other leaves, you see. There you go. It's going to look cool. I love that you can use this again and again, you know. You just have to add a little bit more of the graphite or lead so that you've got something to transfer. I mean, eventually I'll probably end up coming through it, but hey, you know what? Make a second one. Make a second one for later on. This won't take long at all. Here we are. It's going to be cool. Don't worry about the berries, because we can always, we're going to add the big berries. We can put them wherever we fancy. Keep going. It's difficult to understand really what's going on, but it is what it is, isn't it? Hey? Be all right. One day at a time. One thing at a time, isn't it? That's all it is. Be all right. I went to bed early last night. Just got sick of thinking. And then I woke up this morning and I had a little chat to myself. And I thought, well, you can't stop thinking is the answer, isn't it? Stop overthinking everything. And it's fine. I had a good night's sleep. And sleep is great, isn't it? If you can do it. So I had a good think, which got me into a right pickle. And then I went to bed early because I wanted to stop the head going. That worked. And then I slept 12 hours, which was good for anybody. And I woke up this morning, had a little chat to myself, and decided, negative thoughts, be gone. That's what I said. There's no point, serves no purpose, and it's like a bit of a spiral. Once you start on that negativity, it just begets more negativity, doesn't it? It's like it starts to roll and gather momentum. So today I'm happy again. It's like the law of attraction, you know. What you think and what you put out there is what you keep getting back. So today I'm going to be very mindful of the direction that my head is taking me. I'm gonna, yes, I am. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure I was feeling a bit sorry for myself yesterday, and then I thought, well, that's ridiculous. What have I got to feel sorry for myself about? So this morning I reminded myself gently. There you go. Let's see. This morning I reminded myself gently that actually I've got a lot to be grateful for. There we are. And I know this. I know this. I know all these things, but sometimes we forget, don't we? And the thing is, I think when you're tired or you're worn out or you know, which I am, right? When you're tired or you're worn out, then your resistance is low. That's what it is. And when your resistance is low, I think you're more susceptible to self-pity, which is never any good. Do you know what I mean? So it was, yeah, good night's sleep, nice meal, woke up, gave myself a little chat, happy, all right now, it's all right. So let's have a look. I just want to transfer this one now. You got it? So there are loads of gaps, you see, and in a minute I'll want those gaps. So let's find a nice piece of paper. That's the one we're going to go to. So I'll go to a new one with you. Right, so that's the side I've coloured in. Now I'll turn it over, turn it over, and then I'm going to find some low-tack masking tape, and I'm going to attach my tracing paper so that it doesn't move while I'm working. Now, where do I want my wreath? I'm going to stick it right in the middle. I'm going to stick it right in the middle, like so. There you go. Now this should transfer beautifully. Right, you ready? Not running ahead. Has a sip of tea. Come on, let's have a sip of tea. Sip of tea. Tea's always good, isn't it? Yes. That's it. That's lovely, isn't it? We got a lovely box, a gift, because we you know that stamp board that we use, the stamp board. It's brilliant to use. You know this stuff, the stamp board. Well, we actually, believe it or not, this comes in from China, okay? And the company that we work with in China are really nice people, really lovely. The Chinese are such a pleasure to work with. You know, contrary to what you may believe, Chinese are, you know, what we hear or what we're fed. They're just so lovely to work with. You know, the things that we bring in from China for the company, and yesterday we received the most beautiful box from Charles, who is our Chinese friend who sends us, who makes us this, because we took delivery, and he sent us the most beautiful box of tea, just gorgeous, with a lovely note, and it was written on a heart. Ah, it was just so thoughtful, so thoughtful. Yeah, so we've got this really nice tea, just beautiful, just kind, you know. So yeah, that was quite a nice thing, and yeah, we've got a couple of companies that we work with in China, and they're just delightful people, really. Certainly nice to work with in business. They are. Nothing's ever too much trouble. Yeah. Yeah. Always there, always working. Yeah, it's good. And now we've got this lovely tea. Ha-ha! Let's have a look if this is working. It sure is, you see? So now we're going to turn this round. And then just gently transfer. As long as you can see it, you just need to have a rough idea of where the holly is. Yep. That's it. And then just bring this down like so. Hey, I'll tell you what I did do. Check it out. I worked out the camera problem. Look, no shadows. Much better, much better. If I take, I haven't got a picture to hand, but I'll show you later. When I'll show you a piece of artwork in a minute. It looks so much better now. I fiddled with the camera. Look, let me show you. See? Isn't that better? Because yesterday it was really dark and horrible, wasn't it? So, and it's not too, yeah, that's it. So happy with that. Just nothing that little bit of time and investigation wouldn't sort out. Right, here we go. There we are. So we'll turn the artwork round. How far have I gone? Okay. Cool. And once we've transferred the holly leaves, then everything else will follow. Right, let's have a look. So we can put the berries in afterwards, and we'll do that lightly. I don't need to transfer the berries. It's just this roundness, isn't it? You want to kind of get that in. That's not so easy to do freehand, is it? Oh, look. This will do. So we're transferring it onto watercolour paper, but you could be putting this on a canvas, on whatever you fancy, really. White card. Who's making their own Christmas cards this year? Are you? Certainly got the skill sets now, haven't we? Have a look. I reckon this is going to look super. It's just tricks and tips, really, isn't it? It's just a few little tricks and tips. There are no experts in this building. Here we go. They really aren't. I'm only a little bus ride ahead of you. But I wanted to sort of see if we could make a wreath, and rather than have a real defined holly and berries, I thought, I wonder if we could make it a bit more washy, like wishy-washy, so that the colour is in the area, but not coloured in. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to take the line art now and then completely like stick to the line art and the outline. Do you see what I mean? So I thought, I bet we could do it really a bit artier. Give it a go. If it doesn't work, let's have a look. Good enough. Oh, there's that one up there I haven't done. Not bad. Yeah. It's like, there you go, let's just get the circle in so we know, just stick to the circle at least, eh? Oh, look. Yeah, good enough. Even if it looks like it doesn't come out as well as we'd hoped afterwards, right, it will have served two purposes. 2, 3, 4 purposes. First of all, again, we will have learnt how to transfer, yeah. 2, it will have kept us busy for a couple of hours, right? 3, well, so we know how to transfer. 3, we're going to figure out how to mix watercolour so that we can get this kind of arty look. That's nice. That's good too. We've got berries. Right, so now let's have a look at our artwork. So there's loads of things that we're learning, even if it looks like pants afterwards. What's happened over here? Un momento. All right. Let me just check. Oh, where's... yeah, this is where you wish you'd... Where's those 2? Is that it there? No. Oh, Barbara. Does it matter? I'm going to draw something in a minute. Let's say there. Okay. Might have to draw another one in there. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do now, right, step 2. We've transferred a rough idea. Step 2, now we're going to put some... You remember when we did the other one? This one. We made these lovely leaves. So what we're going to do now is freehand some of those leaves into the gaps. So not only have we got the holly, but we're also going to add a little bit of these laurel leaves. It will just look pretty. Yeah? So we'll do a bit of that, and we'll make some berries as well. So this is the next thing. I would say let's get some circles in first. Let's put a couple of berries in. Let's make the berries definitely... Give them a bit of space. Okay, let's give them a few berries. Come on. Just circles, really lightly. You don't want to press too hard. Let's put a couple of little berries there. Let's get some balance going as well. Got a couple of berries. I'm going to put 3 up there. 1 there, couple down here. Nice big berries, big bold berries. There you go. Where there's a... Nice. So I've got berries, little cluster of berries underneath. Do a couple of them. Let's have a look at the original again so you can see what we're doing. See? Dots. Dots and spots. So we've got a couple there, a couple up there. Yeah. So let's have a look. Berries. So you got a bit of balance. See? There's another big one there. This will look lovely. I'm going to put a great big one there. Doesn't matter, you can always add more, take them away, can't you? So let's have a look. Berries, 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 balance, balance, balance. Not a lot of berries over this side, girls. Let's put 1, 2 there. Okay, balancing it out. That'd be nice. Okay, so we've got berries now, yeah? And what we want to do now is, right, back to the original. Let's have a look so you can see. So we've got these leaves as well, right? So you can see there's not loads of them, but they're all kind of going in the same direction. Sorry, they're all going in the same direction as the berries, and they are literally just like that, okay? Just like we did before, you know? So we're going to bring a couple in between the... So let me show you, for example. Here, I find it easier to come down rather than push up. So let's have a look. If I'm going to put one here, really lightly, like I'm not going to press too hard. That'll do. Now I've got to see what I'm doing. So where did I put it? There. So if I put another one here, there you go. And I'm going to put another one up here, like that. I think I'll bring one down into this. That looks a bit ropey. Okay, I'll bring that one down. Let's bring it down here a bit more, like that. Where's my rubber? Right, all hail to the rubber. This looks more like a hot air balloon up there. Right, start again, Gray. Right, up. There you go. That's better. Right, and then we're going to bring this one over, like so. I think we'll have another one in there. Bring up one up there. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Don't need loads of them. How many did I put on on the one before? Just a minute. 1, 2. Oh, a few. So we can maybe bring in. Maybe we could bring these in later when we've decided, when we can see what we've got. Should we do that? That might make more sense, because at the moment I can't really see what I'm doing. Let's do the holly first, right? Let's do the holly and the let's do the holly. Forget about the laurels for now. Let's do the holly and the berries, and then we can always come in with that yellowy colour, can't we? You see that okay? I'm just going to move my original, my precious, out the way. Right, now, what have we got? You ready? Everybody happy? Yes? Everybody okay? Be all right. Right, we need a red pencil for the berries and green. Now, which green are you going to use? This is a good question. So, aqua. Which green did I use? I'm pretty sure that I used this one. Did I? Or did I use a blend? Let's have a look. Maybe I used a blend. In fact, I bet I did, because I think that one's a little bit too, look. So that one there's a little bit too lettucey for me, right? And that one there's a little bit too piney for me. So let me put a bit of blue in there. And this is where you start to understand the magic of the mix mat or the blending mat. Or so the blending mats, they're too shiny for the pencils, but this will work nicely. Now we need to get the green we want, and we've got, look, we've got yellows, we've got blues. Well, there's a green right there. We've got greens and we've got blues. Now that one turns into more, yeah, you know what I mean. It goes more that sea green colour. So let's decide where we want to go first. Right. I just want to get, let's see where we go. I'm just going to clean this off a bit, because obviously this is what I've been working on. So I just clean it off so that we're working on an. Right, now let's have a look. If I add a little bit of water to this. Okay, it is very, very green, isn't it? Now, I don't know about where you live, but the holly, it doesn't look like that in my neck of the woods. Okay, so that's going to be way too. Now what I'm going to do, and this is just a tip, right? What I'm going to do, I'm using, you know, from those little books that we've got, the little, because we've got the watercolour books, but we've got those little journals. So I've pulled a page out of one of those little journals, and I'm going to use it to check the colour, you see, because this is where it's a bit green, isn't it? That's too green for me. So now I'll add a bit more water, and then I'm going to bring in some of the blue. Now that looks more like what I like. See? So let's have a look now. That's more like it. I like that. See? So I've got to make a mental note now of what I'm doing, because I'm going to run out. That won't be enough to go all the way around. So once see if it's too watery, you can't see it, see? So you do your tests. So that's a bit greener. So now we're going to have to bring in a bit more blue. It doesn't have to be exact, but at least it's not lettuce green, is it? See, I like that colour there. So it's going to be more of the blue I'm bringing in. Okay, so what we could do, since we know that's what we want, we'll drop down a little bit more green again. Do you know, the thing is, and I've tested this, I've put all this through its paces, because it's a watercolour pencil, you've got choices, haven't you? You think you could go with that onto the watercolour, add a bit of water and it will spread, but it doesn't actually. doesn't do it that well. And it's not the quality. I've tried it with the Faber-Castell ones as well. Nothing to do with the quality. It's about too much pigment in one place. So I feel that you get a better effect if you do that. Now the next thing, I've seen YouTubes and I'm like, don't do that. You take your water, your brush, your wet brush, and I see people doing this, right? And taking the pigment straight off the pencil, using it almost like a pigment applicator, if you like. Now the thing is, when you do that, and every now and again, I do it. I have to say, I do it. I'm very careful there. And if I do, I certainly brush the water away from the shaft, if you like. Because what you don't want to do, if you do this, right, and then you take the pigment off there, and then you go to you get really rich pigment, and it's really lovely and vibrant, you know, it's definitely not watery, but it certainly, you get a really concentrated, it's going to be concentrated. Over a period of time though, what will happen is that the water will seep down the shaft, and it will, the pigment, the actual stick of colour, if you like, will start to crumble, you know, because it's being soaked, it's being saturated with water. So after a while, it won't be hard anymore. So if you want to do that, then work away and wipe it dry when you're finished, you know. But for me, the best thing to do is to, you know, and there are no experts. I've just been in this game a long time, so, you know, and I used to work with Faber-Castell, so you know, I learnt a lot while I was there. And these pergola liners are great. These are great, but this is definitely the way for me to get a fantastic blend. So, and with the pergola liners, like you know, you look at the tin and or the packet or the box. Crikey, Barbara. Crikey, Barbara. You look at the box and you think, well, I've only got 20 colours. You know, I need 100 colours. Yeah, well, look, I've got 1 green, 2 green, 3 green, 4 green, 5 green, 6 green. I've got 20 colours. I've got 20 different greens here between these 3 colours. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about watercolour, is that you can blend the colours in, you know. So let's see. A bit waterier. And then I reckon we'll be good to go. But you see how you... Yeah, but I want it a bit bluer than that, so I'm going to add a bit more water. I reckon this is going to be enough in a minute. Get a bit more blue going. Come on, Barbara. See, then I've got enough to do the whole... That'll do. I like that colour. Needs to be a bit bluer, though. I'm not going to settle. I want it to be a bit bluer than that. And therefore, I will. Look, in a minute, this whole thing's going to be one great big lake. It's all right. That's it. Right, so once you've got your colour, and you've got your little taster, or your tester, do you know another really intelligent thing to do is to say, especially if you're working, like, say to yourself, all right, so that colour there, say you have to go back to it and you don't, well, you are not going to know which one to go to. There are 2 different blues. So you're going to write on here, for example, A5 and A15. That gives you that, right? And then you'll know that this whole thing here was A5 and A15. And that's what that was the one I ended up with. There you go. And it's a good way. I mean, ideally, you'll put that on the back of this piece of artwork so that you'll remember. But it's just it's what I always wish I would do if I remembered. Right, ready? So this is going to actually not take too long. Right, let's have a go. What we want to do now, let's have one last look at the original, so you see. Right, now let's put that colour there, and then let's take another pen or brush. Hang on. This one's just got water. This is just water. Hang on, you can't see it because it's off the page. I've just got a bit of water. Look, there you go, water, Wasser. Okay. And what I'll do is, if I just put a little bit of water, it's like they call it glaze in water, in watercolour speak. You just put a little bit of glaze down. Let's have a little experiment, right? We'll put a little bit of water down on a couple of them up this side, and then you'll see the difference. Right, so now, just roughly, I'm adding a little bit of water. It's sort of in the area, not necessarily, I'm not painting the leaves, but let's see what happens. Right, those are the ones that have got water. Now, we're just going to take a bit of this and then we'll just see how it goes. If I just pop that in there, right, so now I'm just adding a little bit of water in the ones where I've already added water, right? Just add a little bit of colour in there. Right, here we go. And it will bleed out for you. Well, it should do. Right, where you've put water, you're not colouring in per se, you're just putting a little bit of colour. Have a look, I want it to be a bit bluer, but I can always go in and add a bit of blue. Right, there you go. And I know it looks a bit washy, because that's what it is. Right, so you go down the shaft and then add a bit of... Now, these ones here, they haven't got water underneath them. Let's see what happens on the ones that haven't got water. Not so washy, you see? Right, you can see straight away the difference. Very watery, not so watery. I feel that's... Right, so you go like that, and then just literally just flash a bit of colour at the holly. Turn your artwork round. Let's have a look. Get a bit more. I'm just using my hands to stop it. So you've got choices now. You can add a bit of water first, like a little glaze, which will help you. You see the difference over here. By the time we get round there, you'll see it bleeds more, because of course it would. You've wet the... That doesn't mean one's right and one's wrong. It just means it's different, that's all. Right, so you're going to come round here. Hang on a minute, we're off the page. There's no rush. I kind of like the look when it's called washy like that. So where's my brush again? I like that look. So I wonder what happens if, for example, I go in and I add water afterwards. Whether I can... bleed. See, it doesn't bleed so well now. See? So the trick is to do it first. Is this helpful? Let's put a little bit of water in those leaves. And if you suddenly put too much water in, just hold the paintbrush. It will soak it up. Or the brush. It will just... It soaks it back up again. It just hoovers it back up. If you put... Let's put too much water down. Look, I'm larking about now. So there's loads of water there and you think, oh, now what? I've saturated. If you just put your brush down there and it will just hoover it up. Okay, that's the theory anyway. Just hoover it up or move it over. Just take it from there and move it round a bit. You haven't wrecked your artwork just because you overdid it. And the other thing, of course, is you take a paper towel. You should always have one of those at the ready, and you can blot as well. Okay? So, loads of different tricks, really. What do I know? Have you got an art degree? Because I haven't. Evidently. Right, let's get a bit more of that colour going. And then see if it sits in there. Oh, it's gone a bit green. So I need a bit more blue on my mixing palette. Just add a bit more blue over here. Try and avoid the water. Add a bit more of a squirt. This is why I find these brushes so handy. But I mean, you could have a pot of water with a little paintbrush. It doesn't make a, you know. I find these useful, but it doesn't mean you've got to have them. It just means I find them useful. Right, here we go. So we'll add a little bit more of that round there. We know what colours we used, so that if we then come back later, once it's dry, you see, that's the other thing is you have to wait a little while before you go back in again. Otherwise, if you keep working and working and working on the watercolour paper, it distresses it in the end. It gets waterlogged. It's not good for it, really. I remember I used to take watercolour classes with a fabulous woman called Billy Scholl in Tunbridge Wells. She used to have a little studio in the back of her garden. She's still very talented online. You look her up. Shovel Like Shovel, Botanicals. She's a master. And I used to, I just loved her energy actually. And I used to go and work, every now and again I'd go and do a watercolour class with her. And that's where I learnt my little tricks from her, right? And although she would be rolling her eyes in despair, I think, if she could see what I'm doing here. But hey-ho. Anyway, and she used to say, right, you know, I'd be fiddling away with me calla lily or whatever it was. And she'd say, right, Barbara, let the work relax now. And I'd say, yeah. And I'd carry on completely disregarding what she'd said. And she'd say, right, Barbara, let the work relax now. Oblivion. And then she'd say, Barbara, put the bloody paintbrush down. Oh, okay, I responded to that. Put the bloody paintbrush down. She's quite posh, Billy. Tunbridge Wells, you know. Right, but she's lovely. Yeah, really fabulous. Talented family, actually. Right, okay, so we've got a flash of green now where our holly leaves are, yeah? And we will come back to them. That is not the end of the game, okay? Look, I'm going to put a bit more green in there, a bit more blue. Let's have a look. I wonder what happens if you put that colour in. See, that's the colour we're going back in with afterwards. But we have to wait. Don't be impatient, Barbara. See, we're going to have to come back in. Need more water. See, it soaks it up. It's like my skin. It's as dry as a bone, isn't it? Right, but it'd be great when it's done, okay? This is one of those ones where you look at it and you think, what am I doing, right? But it gets better and better, okay? So just don't despair. This one's a bit greener, actually, isn't it? Look at that, right? And then look at that, and it's got a bit more of that colour in it, hasn't it? That one. That's all right, we could go back again if we prefer. This is actually more holly-y, though. Holly-y. Right, now, next one. You all right? I know it looks a right mess. It won't be, though. It won't be. It'd be good. It'd be good. And even if it isn't, what's the worst that can happen? We've learned loads. We'll go again. Now, where's that red gone? I do need a red for me berries. Got a red? It's all about distraction, friends. It is. It's all about distraction. You know, it's about thinking carefully. When I say thinking carefully, I mean thinking carefully. Be careful what you think about, because it will get you in a spin. I got me in a spin yesterday, and it happened so quickly. I start out all right, and within 5 minutes, I've gone to absolute Armageddon. So you have to be very mindful, and I think now more than usual, I think we've always got to be careful what we think about, so that we don't attract negative energy and negativity. Yeah, but at the moment, even more so, you know, with Christmas and COVID and everything else, and family here and family there, and are we going to see them? Are we not going to see them? Blah, 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 blah. So, and this is just going to be a nice red, simple berries, right? Let's have a practice on a bit of scrap, and let's see if this is the berry. Then all we're going to do is hold it up and make a little swirl like that. Look. Just like that. Okay? That's a berry. If that's not a berry, I don't know what is. Right, you ready? So, and let's have a little experiment. Why don't we, hang on, let's get a bit of water going. Right, a bit of water going, white water. You know what I mean. Clear water. Right, let's put a bit of clear water on the berries. Little glaze first. And then I bet, if we drop the red onto that drop, it will spread. It will spread to where we've put the glaze. That's the theory. Should we give it a go, see if it works? Right, so I've got a little bit of water there, got a bit of water there. These ones here have got water on. Are you doing this along with me, or are you watching thinking she's got no idea what she's doing? Oh, hang on. Got a bit of a 3D dribble going on here. Water always amazes me how it creates its own wall. Do you know what I mean? Right, that'll do. Let's have a look if this worked. Right, so that's my clean one. Now I'll go to my red one and I'll pick up some of that. And that's what I'm going to do now. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it does. Like, right, okay, so you pick your red up and then you drop it in the, look, and it just drips exactly where you put your glaze. There you go. But what we don't want really, oh, that's, interesting. All right, we've got too much water there, Barbara. It's never going to dry, is it? It's just like one big bubble of water. Be all right though. It's like a stain, isn't it? See, and then what we want to do in a minute, isn't that nice? I like the way this works. Look, let's see. So if you go in that one, it just holds because there's no water in it, and then you've got to go around. So it's a lot darker. But on the ones where you've put water, see, it just bleeds out to where you've put the glaze. So we're kind of colouring them in, but we're not, because in a minute we're going to go back, right? Okay. So we've figured all that out. Right, so let me just take the, see, the thing is though, because there's so much water involved, let me just blot these. Now, let's go in the proper, let's go in again and see if it works. Right, so I'm gonna put a bit more pigment in because this is too wishy-washy. We'll be here till the cows come and put in layers on. Okay, but it's quite good because you get like a bit of a stain off the original colour. No, this is quite good actually. I quite like this. Right, here we go. Swashy, round we go. Freehand now. Okay, ready? So we've got our berry. Oh, too much. Shut up, Barbara. Right, berries, like that. Round we go. And we've got a bit of like a watery, what would I call it? Centre. There we are. Right. There we go. So we just, if it's too much, just get rid of a little bit on a towel, look, or on a bit of paper or something, and then go around and add your, and you've got a rough idea where the berry is. You just don't have to stick to the line art. That's what we're trying to do here. Look, make it bigger, bolder, beautiful. Go outside. That's it. That'll do. A bit more on that one. What I'm doing every time I flick across is I'm just getting rid of a little bit of the excess. I'd rather go in twice than... Right, so we'll let that dry now. Yeah? A bit more on that one. Right, and when that dries, it will dry a lot lighter than that anyway. So we've got our green and we've got our... Right? So we've got our green, and now we're going to put our leaves in, our yellow leaves, up, whatever they are, right? Done our yellow. What's the time? 10 to already. How did that go so fast again? Hey? Now let's decide what colour we're going to use. I think I'm going to go with, let's come out a little bit so that you can see what I'm actually mixing here. That's better. Right. So I'm going to go with a bit of yellow and a little bit of that. I think I'll go with a bit of that greeny colour, the first green. Right, let's try that. I've got another brush that's yellow here. There we go. Right, that's a nice kind of limey green, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. See what that looks like. What do I think? I think that's rather nice. A bit in your face, but let's have a look what I did before. I love what I did before. That's about right, a bit waterier. See? That's exactly it, isn't it? Okay, so what do I think? Yes, I do. Right, here we go. So I've got my drops in place. There we are. And I'm just going to put those leaves in now. There, see, it doesn't take long once you get going. So this is all an under layer, isn't it? An undercoat. See? You can put them where you fancy. And then what we'll do, you see, then what we'll do is, see, even if they're behind the berries, that's all right as well. It would be pretty weird if they were all, it's pretty 2D, isn't it? If it's all, some of them are going to be behind, aren't they? So now it's about balance. So step away and look at your work and say, right, have I got enough yellow? It feels like there needs to be a bit of yellow over here, doesn't there? See, so I could put one in there. I'll just put a light pencil mark in, like there. So I know where it's going to go, behind that green. I reckon that'll work. See? I'll just pop that one in there. There we are. And then we can water it down a little tiny bit more up here, so it's not quite so yellow. And then we'll just sweep through that area. Try and avoid the red or you'll end up with an orangey colour, right? That's it. Just let's just get going. This will set you free, this sort of artwork, because you're going outside, you're not worrying about the line art. Let's put a little bit of that, just put a little whisper of that yellow around where the wreath is as well. Just gives us something to work towards when we come back on this. There we go. See? It's going to look lovely. So just add a little bit of that. It's really watery, this is. Like, almost... Well, but I say it's not there. It is there. Right, this is going to create the undercoat, but you want to kind of avoid the... See it coming together now? This needs to be dry before we go again, you see. What you don't want to do is start fiddling with it now. So you've got your undercoat. So if I go to the one that I've already done, what's the time? I can't believe how quickly that hour went. There. See, so I've got my undercoat, and then what we'll do is, this is dry now. So I've got choices. You see how my berries are already more defined because I've already fiddled a little bit with them. So we've got two things we can do here. We can, and we are going to, right? You can either use your pencil dry, or you can go in with a bit more. I did both. I did two more stages to this, and I'll show you, because this is what we'll do on Friday. I think that'll be a nice thing to do. I'm just looking at the moment. I'm scouring for my red. Oh, that'll do. I've got a red one here. There we are. Right, my red. Is that red? It's a bit orange, that. That's... Where's my red one gone? Excuse me 1 minute. I've got a yellow one. There you go. Red it is. Right. Only because on Sunday I'm doing something with the houses, and I'm going to be doing this, and there's an orange house. Right, now, this time though, let's get a bit more. I want a bit more of a pigment and a little less water. Right, so let me just show you. Right, you can see this is, it's amazing really with these pencils how much more, how all the different depths of colour. So if we go, for example, to this one here, right, let me just see if I can get this right. So you can really come in now, but if it's too water, see, I want it to be a bit waterier than that. I don't want it that dark. So then what I'm going to do is just come round just a little. Look, that's all I've done. That one's a bit too much. It's me trying to show you so that you can see that all I'm doing is going round like a crescent moon, if you like. You see? I mean, that's a bit extreme. So what I'll do is, to correct that, I'll add a bit more water and then I'll blot it because it's a little bit too much. I don't want it that dark, but I wanted to show you how it works. But there you go, that's all right. When that dries, that'll dry up like this. So the idea is, you see, that you take your darker colour and you just put a little bit of a, like that. Right, that's too much. It needs to be waterier than that, right? But I'm just showing you. So what we can do is just water that down a little bit, tone it down a bit. Yeah, and when it dries, it will dry like this because it's bleeding, if you like. Or, you see, you can do it like that with watercolour. Let me just bleed that down a bit with water. That'll do. This is already blending in more. Or, what you can do is take the dry pencil. Let me find a dry one. There we go. This is a dry one. And then you can just, and we'll be masters at this because we're dry water people. We're dry colourists, aren't we? Before we're watercolour artists. There you go, see? And then you can use the dry pencil to get that effect as well. Just over the top of the watercolour. But the watercolour is the one that is more, it's freer, it's artier, right? So you just, round we go. So this is the one I'm going to work on so I can show you my finished piece. But you can see already how the berries, let me just show you. So now we've got those berries that are tighter, but if I take a really thin wash and I go over the top, what I'm trying to do, I don't want them to be that obvious, you see. So I'm just going to spread out a little bit with a really thin wash of pink around the outside. Oh, that was a bit much, but that will work when it dries. That was way too much. All right, don't do what I just did, but I can water it down. It'll be fine. There you go. That'll be gone by the time you come back on Friday. There you go. That'll dry up nicely. So that's what we're doing. Where's my pencil? Has it gone again? Where's the one I'm on? Oh yeah, I know, it's here. So that's drying nicely. And then on Friday when we get together, we'll start defining it more, okay? And we'll finish it off and we'll tidy it up with dry pencils, with a little bit more wet, and with an HB pencil. And that's what we're going to do on Friday. And we'll make this really, really lovely. Don't fiddle with it too much until Friday, and then we'll have a good go at it and we'll bring it out. But it's supposed to be really wishy-washy and watery. If we wanted to do really, really defined, then we know how to do that too, don't we? So this is just another application, another way to go. All right. I hope you enjoyed that, and I shall see you on Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. As always, be safe. Do join Paul at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock tomorrow for the Pergamano show. And Stuart, thank you for your help. That's better. Thank you for your help. Other than that, I'll see you on Friday. Keep smiling. This too shall pass. Lots of love. Bye-bye now.